Hello, everyone. It's been a while, but I took a quick trip to Middle Earth. Now I'm back. So I wanted to talk about the DC Absolute number ones that came out because, as you know, if you've been following, DC announced their Absolute Universe, which was essentially their answer to Marvel's Ultimate Universe. And we got the creation of it. We know how it was made, what it was created by Darkseid to be like a darker version of DC, and it's all running off Darkseid energy. And now we have the number ones for the Trinity. So Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman all have number ones, and I'm going to be talking about them all in this video. So quickly, before we get like really deep into it, I'll just give you my general thoughts. And that is, I think Absolute Batman is really good. I had a lot of fun with that first issue. I thought it was great. Nick Dragotta drawing just a ludicrously huge Batman beating the tar out of people was very fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And Scott Snyder, as we know, writes a good Batman. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be good. My main problem with this book when it was announced was like, I have seen Scott Snyder write Batman for a long time. He's really good at it, but it's like, maybe put him on something else. It's like, been there, done that. He still does a great job with Batman, but I would have liked to seen him on like something else maybe. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. Absolute Wonder Woman, I actually liked. I did not think I was going to like Absolute Wonder Woman because Kelly Thompson is definitely not on my higher tier of writers. I think she generally does a pretty piss poor job, but this first issue was good. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great or anything amazing. And also this was the most like their actual main universe counterpart. Like this felt very much just like Wonder Woman, to where Batman was like, oh, there's a lot of differences here. This felt very similar, like, oh, this is just Wonder Woman. There are some different circumstances, but this just feels like Wonder Woman. And then we have Absolute Superman. It's ass. Absolute Superman is so bad. Rafa Sandoval does a great job. I really enjoy his art, but Jason Aaron has done a pretty good job at DC so far, from what I have read of his, which is what he did with Action Comics, which was pretty good. I enjoyed that little short story arc with Bizarro, and what he's done with Batman Offworld has been amazing. But here's his first misstep, which is Absolute Superman. We'll get into this, but it was bad. I would not recommend reading it. I thought it was really bad. I've seen some people praise it, so maybe it's just me, but I thought it was terrible. Anyways, let's get into it. Spoilers for all these comics. If you haven't read them, I'm going to be getting all into it. But first, I want to start off with Absolute Superman number one. There are some interesting ideas with Absolute Superman number one, but they're not executed well at all. So we get a new origin for Superman on Krypton. We see that his parents were lower class people. That we see that on Krypton. You have like the higher class, which is like the science class, and you have like the laborers and the people that basically do everything and make the world go round. But it's basically, you have like you have the inferior people, and then you have like the superior, like freaking people that put their noses up at everyone and like see everyone as lower than them. And it's very classist planet. And Superman's parents are, lower people. We see that they're very smart and they were on their way to be like part of the science class and be part of the science council and all that, but they spoke out against them at some point in their life. For Laura, she spoke out when she was like 9 years old and got banned forever. And Jarrell did it, I think, at like his college graduation or high school graduation or something like that. And he got banned forever. Something that is funny about all this is Jason Aaron is a big lib, and he accidentally makes conservative talking points in this comic, which he's not trying to do, but he does because he's not the most talented writer all the time. But what I mean by this, how he makes conservative talking points, is he makes a point that like if you talk against the science council or the science class or like this upper class, then you can get censored, you can get opportunities taken away, you can get beaten into the dirt. It's like this is what conservatives were saying during COVID, where they're like, you can't question, the vaccines or like freaking Fauci or anything like that. It's like, and you're trying to make that point in this comment. I don't think you meant to do that, but that's what Jason Aaron does, and it's pretty funny. I giggled a bit reading that, 'cause, like, obviously he didn't mean to do that, but he did. We get this whole origin. The origin is kind of interesting, but then kind of stupid too. Something I hated about the origin is we see that Superman's symbol, his crest, the House of L, isn't the House of L now. It's the House of Janitors. It represents everyone that's a laborer wears that symbol. They wear that S, which I don't like because I hate the fact that it's just everyone on Krypton that's a part of that class wears it. It's not like it doesn't belong to the House of L anymore. I just don't like. I get it, it's absolute, things are different, but I think that's a stupid change. And also, I think it's something that's like, wow, that's so deep. Like if you're 8 years old, that's what it feels like. It's like, man, wouldn't it be so deep if like Superman wears a symbol that every laborer on his home planet wore. Like it just seems kind of stupid. I just I read that, which is like this is astoundingly dumb. Some people probably really like it. I think it's really stupid. Yeah, I don't like that. Just every single person on Krypton that was a laborer wore the Superman S that he gets, and now it's like, yeah, he's representing them. It's like, but I just feel like it's a really dumb way to do it. There's also a group of people that wear an M on their chest for middle management. Yeah, remember when Krypton was cool? Like, I like when Krypton's corrupt and bad and all that. Like, I'm fine with that. But, like, at least kind of make it, like, interesting with it, not just dumb as rocks. Because that's what this feels like when the guy's point is just like, look at this, the League of Middle Management. It's like, okay. Like the normal Superman origin, we see that Jor-El discovers that Krypton's in a bad way and it's gonna explode. So he's kind of freaking out about that. He has a close encounter with some scary stuff on Krypton that makes him worry. And then we see that Clark is a full-grown child on Krypton. He's not like a little baby or nothing. He's like 10 years old, something like that, somewhere around there. So it's different because he actually gets to experience Krypton, unlike normally where he doesn't have really any memories of Krypton. So that's a little change that we'll see how that affects Superman later. Superman on Earth, he's helping these miners. I think there's like these Portuguese miners or something. There's this corporation that's making them mine stuff that's killing them. I think they found asbestos or something, and he's helping them. And there's peacemakers that are work for this company because for some reason they're constantly shoving Peacemaker down our throat. Don't know why. Obviously I do. They give him a TV show, but they just it's weird. I don't know why Peacemaker has to be everywhere. But yeah, he helps these Portuguese miners. It's not terribly interesting. The dialogue's not very good when they're going through all about it. I hate Superman's design. I said this before when it was announced. I think this is very much like if you asked like a 70-year-old in 2002 to update Superman and make him cool for the kids, this is how they'd say it. Look, like he's got to have an edge to him, have longer hair. It's like it feels very much like when Superman Truth happened, and they're like, how do we make Superman cool? We're gonna he's gonna wrap he's gonna tear away his cape and use it as like knuckle dusters. He's gonna wear his cape on his knuckles and drive a motorcycle because that's what the kids are into. That's what it feels like. The kids, they want a Superman that's like more mysterious and has long hair, and that's what it feels like with a Superman. And I didn't vibe with the Superman at all. I thought it was interesting how he has a Jarvis now. He has like a freaking AI in his suit that talks to him and he can tell it what to do and stuff and like can help regulate his powers. He's not really too good at controlling his powers. He gets in a little fight and stuff, and then we see Lois Lane is in the military and she's gonna fight Superman next issue because her dad's General Lane, I'm assuming, in this too, probably. And so she's in the military. It's like, oh, what a plot twist. And yeah, that's basically where it ends, where she's going to be fighting Superman next issue because the military comes to get him. We also get a little tease of Brainiac at the end. We see that he's monitoring the situation because he works for the Lazarus Corporation, which is the corporation that has all the peacemakers and was forcing those miners to do all that stuff and that Superman was fighting. So Brainiac exists in this universe. Looks like he's going to be the first real big bad that Superman goes against, and that's the little tease at the end of this issue. So I thought this was terrible. I didn't care for Absolute Superman #1 at all. I thought, like I said, there were interesting concepts. I like the idea, like in this we see that Superman has been like hopping from like downtrodden place to downtrodden place on Earth to help like the voice of the voiceless, and I like that because that's what Superman was founded on. Like that's what he originally was in 1938. Was his whole thing was like champion of the oppressed. So I like that. I like keeping it up, but I just felt like he did it in the most boring way possible with how Jason Aaron executed this with him helping the miners. I just didn't find it interesting at all. And then Krypton, I thought it was interesting, like having this whole classist society and his family getting censored and being beaten down, having all this taken away from them because they dared to speak out. I thought that was interesting, but again, just like the execution of all of it wasn't really good, and I thought the whole symbol thing was so dumb. So I would not recommend Absolute Superman #1. Now on to a book I would recommend, which is Absolute Batman #1. This book was so much fun. Batman is 6'6", 250 pounds. He's just a big old giant guy. He's got a cape that acts kind of like Doc Ock's arms because he like walks around on 'em like stilts. He can grab people with them. He's got an axe that he can create with the symbol on his chest, the giant fat ass bat. He can attach a thing to it, make an axe. He chops a dude's arm off with it. He can rip his ears off, which isn't really new, but he can rip his ears off and throw them at people. He can do a million different things. It's so much fun just watching him just beat the tar out of people because we have this new what are they called? I already forgot. They're like some type of animals. They work for Black Mask and they're causing a lot of havoc in Gotham. Gotham's in a bad way, surprise, surprise. And a lot of this issue we see through the eyes of Alfred. Alfred's a secret agent that's there to monitor things that are going on in Gotham, and he's told to like stay out of most things. And he's very intrigued by Bruce, and he gets his ass beat by Bruce twice. It's pretty funny because one time he has his shotgun in the back of Bruce's head, and he's like, "Hey, I have this sick shotgun. Don't move or I'll blast you." And then of course Batman moves and beats his ass and takes the shotgun. The next time he runs into him, Bruce points the shotgun at him and he's like, "Oh, what happened to Mr. Don't Kill?" Because even though Batman's different in this universe, he still doesn't kill. He's like, "All your morals go out the window." Batman shoots Alfred straight in the face, but he modified his shotgun to be non-lethal. So Alfred's fine, but he just like took this non-lethal buckshot or whatever it was, I can't remember what it was, to the face. And it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. The only thing I thought was introducing Joker at the end. Joker's introduced as like one of the 30 wealthiest people on the entire planet. It's like, oh, we're getting a Joker who's super rich, which we already had like that inverse during Tynan's run, where it was like, oh, what if Joker was rich and Batman was poor? It's like we've been there, done that. Now we're doing it here. Also, they say like they call him the Joker because nothing makes him laugh. It's like that sounds dumb as hell. But either way, I enjoyed it. I kind of want this book to be super dumb. Like, I don't really want, like, the next Killing Joke or something out of this. I kind of want this book to just be dumb fun, because it is fun, and I hope there's a lot of action every issue, because Nick Dragotta is so great at drawing this action, and I like just Batman just being a force of nature. Something that is bound to come up is Bruce trains at a boxing gym, and he's the only 6'6", 250-pound guy you see in Gotham, and he like annihilates punching bags. Like, he's huge. If you go to that gym, you know, oh, that's Bruce, the gigantic steroid guy. If you see a gigantic man dressed as a bat, you're gonna be like, that's Bruce. It's the only other person that big in all of Gotham. It's like, oh wow, there's a guy delivering haymakers dressed in a bat costume. I wonder if it's the guy I saw at the boxing gym just destroying heavy bags. Possibly. So that's the only thing, is it feels like it's gonna be hard for him to maintain any type of secret identity. I get it, you know, we have a lot of dumb secret identity in comics, but it's really like, I don't know how long this one would last. But I would highly recommend this first issue if you're interested at all. I had a ton of fun with it. Now, Absolute Wonder Woman, I was not expecting to like. I thought it was pretty good. It's, again, not the best issue ever or anything amazing, but I liked it. Kelly Thompson did a good job. There's still some of that cringe and the Kelly Thompson humor. There's like moments where it's like she just can't help herself, and it's like that very, just, you know, the type of humor that I'm talking about. There's a lot of people in comics that have this type of, aren't we so goofy and silly type humor. There's not a whole bunch of it, but there is like some elements of it. It's like, okay, it's not funny. We don't need that. But also, like I said earlier, this Wonder Woman is very much like the same as the Prime Wonder Woman, so she feels very similar. But it's pretty cool. She was raised on Hell. Hell's an island because, you know, there's all Greek mythology and all that. And she was the last of the Amazons because the Amazons were all imprisoned because they disobeyed Zeus or something. And she gets taken to this one lady on Hell, and she's raised on the island of Hell. She survives there. And also the word Amazon was banned because all the Amazons are gone. And Apollo was like, no one can say Amazon anymore. This girl, you'll raise her, but you're not allowed to say Amazon. And then by the end of the issue, Diana says Amazon. She says the word. And that's like a powerful moment for her. But she comes to our world from, you know, the like Greek mythology world. She comes to man's world, and she's fighting these big beasts, trying to stop them from destroying our world. It's pretty cool. She's got a giant sword. She's got magic now. She looks like a modified version of her New 52 self. And I actually thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time reading it. I was not expecting to. So 2 out of 3 for Absolute Books is better than I thought it would be. But it's still, after reading this first issue, it's still like, why is this such a big deal? Why is DC like, man, Absolute Universe is freaking, this is a big deal. We're all in on Absolute, and it's going to be like a huge thing. And it's like, this just feels like another, you know, Earth One type deal where it's like, Why are we making this such a huge thing? Who knows how many of these books are still going to be around in a year or two? Who knows? But yeah, if you were interested in them, again, I would recommend Batman and Wonder Woman. I would not recommend Superman. I did not enjoy it. Art's good, writing is not. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. As far as All In goes, though, I've enjoyed All In so far. I'll touch on that real quick. I thought the first issue of All In for Batman and Robin was amazing from Philip K. Johnson. It was so good. I thought that was an amazing issue. I really enjoyed the first issue of Nightwing. Now that Tom Taylor's gone, we got Dan Waters on there. Nightwing was pretty good. Green Arrow, it's too early to judge because they had like 70% of the issue written by Joshua Williamson, and then the new writer wrote like 3 pages at the end, so I can't really say. But I'm excited that we got a new writer on Green Arrow. So All In, I'm actually more excited about than the Absolute stuff. The All In stuff so far has been pretty good. Absolute, like I said, actually, 2 out of 3 wasn't bad, but I'm still like not stoked for the future of that. To where All In, I'm kind of more excited to see where things go. But anyways, if you read any of this, please let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you later.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.